Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Libra God 90, just back with another DBD podcast episode of the Survivor Side Stories. Hope everybody is having a good morning. I am trying to actually record this around 5:19. Right, it's been like almost a week since I've done one of these. Real quick, if you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe if you're new. If you like these podcast episodes, I know more people think I'm being lazy because I did put out like two video that I put out a podcast episode, and I also did one before that, which was the DBD replays, where I basically break down a game of how we won or lost as Survivor, right? What the killer did wrong, and what we did right, and vice versa, right? What we did wrong, what the killer did right. So please check that out. It was the game against the Knight and Myers. So I think both of them were on Dead Dog, right? Here's the thing. I don't know what I'm doing anymore with this channel, with this game. I've been on close to 2,000 subs for months. Like when I say months, I'm talking about like, dude. Like I don't try to, and please excuse me if I'm like using, like if I curse a little bit because I'm a little bit frustrated. I try to keep it light and friendly, but my audience is mostly 18 on up. It might be some that's a little bit younger, but keep in mind, I'm a grown man. It is what it is, right? And the issue that I'm starting to have with this game is I guess I'm giving up hope a bit with DBD, and I really want to find something else to play. But the problem is trying to make another channel or trying to make, play another game and trying to have like content outside of DBD, because I'm sorry, dude, this game is cursed. This game is shit. Excuse my language. It's cursed. There's no fun in this game. I don't care who you are. You have your opinion, that's fine. But this game is it's cursed. I don't find myself having fun in this game anymore. And before, and listen, I respect anybody who wants to comment on my channel. I don't have an issue with people commenting as long as it's respectful. Right? I'm not making it personal about anybody. I'm not doing any of that. I believe that, people can disagree and agree and etc., but just keep it respectful, right? I would love to have debates and stuff like that and open dialogue and discussions so long as it's respectful, right? But I just hate when people, because it's here's the thing, like, I will openly tell people, like, yeah, I slide in DMs and I be talking my ish, right? I talk my shit. It is what it is. But I will tell you this, right? Like, I'm at least real about, like, reality and what's going on in the game and this community. For example, like me, I don't make content. And I'm not knocking anybody who make content about how-to videos. I just feel like in this game, how to do what. I don't know. Like, if you're brand new to DBD, sure, but you got to keep in mind there are like tons of videos of like how to loop, how to do whatever, and I got them, but I'm not the first one. I'm not like the first Survivor. I wasn't playing since Legacy days. You know what I mean? I wasn't playing back in them days where all of this stuff is like brand new and it's like groundbreaking and it's nostalgia. Like how people feel about Noob. You know what I mean? Noob 3, where he is like the guy that a lot of people started to watch and follow, who's like the first Survivor main to make it like funny content and like, promote the Survivor toxicity, when it comes to whatever. I don't know what people may consider or deem as toxic. I'm not the first ones to do that. Not saying that you can't have, see, here's the thing too. I also will argue and push back on saying that, listen, just because you're not the first one to do something doesn't mean that you can't, still have your way. Like, there's your way and there's your style to it, and just so a lot of people might vibe with you. Like, there's like millions of streamers, but there's still just only you. You know what I mean? And that's why, like, it's very unique that you are who you are and you have a unique audience, because people want to follow you. And like, there's like, listen, I don't watch DBD content or streamers anymore like that. Unless you're like Hexy, which is every now and then he's on, or I don't know, I don't, or Tofu, and that's every now and then. Like, I don't watch a lot of streamers. Back when I was younger and I was playing back when I was younger in DBD days, yeah, I watched a lot of people to like learn, and a lot of them was like, I watched Edgar Allan Bro as well too. He was pretty funny, But I just don't find myself watching a lot of DBD content on streams anymore. Like I just don't. It's really boring. You know, it's really like it really got to a point where I just feel like, you know, I'm getting up every day to play a game that I really despise. And a lot of times people are like, well, why are you playing this game? Like the obvious questions. And I'm starting to get to that point where it's just like, dude, like I got to get something else, man. Like this game is cursed. The devs come out with like new ways to entice you for a little bit. And that is coming out with new cosmetics. So you can get camped in your favorite cosmetic. You can get tunneled out by a Blight or a Wesker. Which I don't hate. Like I want people to understand. I love going against Weskers. I do not hate Weskers, despite the hitbox. Because to me, it's still different than going against Skull Merchants, which they're trying to do something. I guess in the PTB they still have that right now, where they're trying to rework, or they still going against Knights where they just want to camp, and just regular killers who just want to camp in general. And it's so crazy to me, like how we talk about like these unfun killers, like, you know, these zoning out killers, like the Knight, or these 3-gen camping killers like Skull Merchant, that we forget that there are nurse players who just make you just like literally want to throw your Xbox or PlayStation out the window. There are Blight players, and I want you to realize it's not the skill of it. Like I want people to really understand like the difference, right? Like people do this thing where they think because you're playing against like a player like with a top tier S tier killer that means like it's skill. I'm not saying that you can't like be better than some other Blight players or whatever, but I mean there's so many times people are being carried by their just power mechanic alone. You know what I mean? Like it's not like, okay, for example, I can run inside, I don't know, a jungle gym, right? And I can see if it's like you hit a red stain, I wasn't looking behind me fast enough or at all, which is never the case for me, and I just get caught off guard and it was an intention. That's different than you just being a Blight and literally getting carried by your mechanic, by your add-ons. I don't hate Blight players, I hate the killer. So I don't hate people. Right? Like I don't hate anybody. But I hate that killer so much, dude. I hate that nurse. Like it's so crazy how like people play what is just more like what makes more sense to them. You know, as far as like, because listen, you would never convince me in this game ever. Like ever, I don't care who you are. I don't care how many hours you have. That people care about having fun in this game more than winning. You will. I'm talking about on Survivor or killer. It's the reason why there are meta builds and meta perks people like to use. It's the reason why Mayfit is still one of the most popular Survivor perks. Windows as well, because we just gotta drop all pallets that we see in the distance. Right? You will never convince me that every killer does not use Lethal Pursuer. I love the notion, by the way, that, you know, a lot of killers bitch about, you know, these perks that we have, but I promise you every killer that's probably listening to this podcast has Lethal Pursuer. I mean, is it not easy, right? Is it not where you can just literally just start the match and you just see the auras of survivors immediately, right? I don't know, maybe throw in a little corrupt intervention, you know, force us to one side and just there you go, right? Instead of just being able to say, you know what, let's just look at scratch marks, right? Let's just, you know, it's natural to kill it. Let's just see you already see where gens are, right? Because it's eliminated in red. That's my point. I don't like when we act like on one side we don't do this when you do. Like, it's just like the rule book. But we all have rule books. Survivors and killers have rule books. And as I said before, like if anybody who watches my channel or listens to my podcast or have ever been a part of my community for a while that's within DBD, you will know that I get on Survivor. Not only do I get on Survivor and Killer, I get on Survivors more than I do Killers. Because again, Killer, I will say this all the time, Killer is not on my team, dude. Yeah, Killer's hitting me on hook. Yeah, the Killer's BMing. Yeah, the Killer's bleeding me out. And it's irritating, yes. But they are not on my team. Do you get what I'm saying to you? Like, he's the op immediately. Like, it's him. Like, if you call the cops pointing to him, he's the op, right? Like, that's him. He's not on my team. He's not gonna do a gen. I don't know too many blights that's gonna sit down and do a gen with me. Right? It's you who's not doing anything at the survivor. Like, we can't dead hard to flashlights anymore. So why are you still trying to run and do a flashlight save? Sit down on the gen. Like, I want you to be glued. Listen. It's why I don't play with people. I want you to listen. If I'm running killer and I'm running him for like 5 minutes, and then I look up and I realize that you've been chasing the chase for 5 minutes. Like, what are you doing? Like, can I help you? Can you go sit down? You ever, like when I was a kid, my dad would go tell me to go sit down. Like, cause I was a kid, right? Just go sit down. Go sit down on a gen. Like, go sit down, right? Like, go sit down. That kid that want to keep trying to get something, but it's nonsense. Like, you ain't trying to hear it. Like, go sit down on a gen, dude. I want to hear that. Oh, I'm trying to get a flashbang because you saw Vicky or some streamer do it on DVD. Go sit down. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest with you. Like, I'm just being real. Like, I understand that people watch, like, Aaron and all these. I'm not trying to call nobody out, but, like, it's just, like, I get it. But it's just, like, that's why solo queue is, like, really horrible. Because we have a lot of people get very inspired. And I think it's cool to get very inspired. I hope somebody get inspired by me one day. I hope y'all get inspired to do generators. Like, it's so crazy to me how it always just feels like killer is just, like, never, like, not trying. Like, it's so weird. Like, it always seems like killer is always trying. And then I got survivors who just, like, I don't know what they're doing. And if you think I care about a DC penalty, y'all can listen. I look at my channel and I really just don't. It's not even like I love doing these podcast episodes. Like, I love them. Like, I love being able to, like, play DBD and just, like, be able to just unload, pause, and just be able to, like, talk about, like, how I feel about stuff. But I'm just, like, I'm concerned about, like, the direction of, like, the community, because I see so many people who are big streamers leaving the community, and which means that it's not affecting me whether they play DBD or not, but it's just like, what can DBD even do to even fix this game? I don't think they can, dude. I think they know that they messed this game up to a point where it can never go back to where. Listen, I understand we can't have hatch anymore when we can all just jump in the hatch. Like, those used to be the days when I was just ready to go. It's 3 of us left. Let's just go up and find the, hatch used to exist in a match with more than one person, and, all the gens didn't have to be completed. We could just, like, jump in with a key. Bro, let me tell you this. Check this out, pimpin'. Now they got it. Let me tell you how the devs, like, really just, like, I just don't get it. Right? I just don't understand. The devs literally made it, and I don't know if y'all noticed this, right? Because it's kind of pointless using keys anymore unless you use it, unless you understand how to, like, use, like, the broken key. Like, the broken key is one of my favorite ones. I used to hate it in the beginning because I didn't understand, like, what it was for. It's called broken key. I thought it was pointless if you weren't using it to open hatch, right? But if you pair it with Blood Amber, which is, the purple diamond add-on that you can use, you can see the killer's aura whenever you activate it. And the Prayer Beads, which is the one that has the longest time you can use the key. So if you attach those, so you pretty much have to use add-ons with that key is what I'm saying. You won't be able to use it to open hatch, but you can use it for add-ons, right? So, but it's crazy to me that with, like, the purple key, the red key, the red key is the best key, obviously. It's the ultra rare. It's a rarity. But now, like, you have to use, like, you have to open the key, like, not open the key, you have to open hatch, and it's like a meter now. And I understand that's not, like, brand new, but, like, it just showed you the direction of the devs as to what they wanted for this game. And it's very sinister. Like, literally, something's very odd about that. Like, you literally made it where, like, in the beginning it was okay if you find hatch. Okay, keep in mind, finding hatch, unless you use, it's one offering you can use if there's, like, if you're in a map where there's a main building. And then I think it's the other one that's called Anna something. Well, you know what I mean. Like it's one where it was spawned outside of hatch, like on the side, right? Assuming that you will be the last one to be in that match, you're trying to find it. Most of the time, dude, unless you bring those maps and you're not the last survivor, finding hatch is RNG. And even if you are the last survivor, it doesn't necessarily mean that. And you bring that add-on, I mean, you bring those offerings, doesn't mean that the killer won't go by Shaq and be like, okay, like for example, let's say I bring that map offering, or not map offering, that offering for the hatch, whether it's main building or not, and the killer is just over there and they know I'm gonna try to, okay, whoever's the last survivor, whoever brought it, they can figure it out. I don't know if you noticed, you can actually see what survivors brought as far as offerings. Like if you press pause in a match, and you see offerings before the match started, and you press pause and you can see like the names. You literally can see like in order of the names. Like if you compare the names and the offerings, who brought what. And you have a killer who will know, even if they didn't even do that, if they just see a hatch offering, they know they're just spawning in that area. Or what they'll do is they'll just slug for the 4K. Like they'll slug the second to the last survivor and then just come after you, which pretty much leaves that one survivor, especially if you're running around all day trying to getting fun chases, whatever, before you die. That survivor have to just sit there and just bleed out. But even being the last survivor is RNG. You get what I'm saying? So that doesn't even mean that you're going to be the last survivor. And the fact that the devs will make it, and they just threw that one in there. Here's the question. Who asked for that? Nobody. Nobody asked for that. Nobody literally said, maybe it was a bot who did. It was the bum who did, but nobody literally said, can we please make it where it takes longer to open up hatch? I wouldn't be surprised if somebody said that. But it's just like, it just goes to show you how like people just don't want to compete. Like I hate when people use this notion that like, okay, like it's not like you're gonna win like $1 million if you beat me, bro. Like why you gotta try so hard? But I will say this: out of all the games I ever played, this is the game that I actually understand try hard. Like, bro, buddy, if I am the second to the last survivor, put me on hook. You made your point. You got a 3K. Please put me on hook, dude. I want to sit next to a person in real life who plays DBD. I'm not a violent guy. I just want to sit next to a person, and I just want to, maybe we could share a beer or a cup of coffee. I just want to sit next to a killer man who I just want to see how they look too. Like I don't care. I don't care. It could be cruel. I do not care. Like, I'm trying to tell you one thing about me. I'm very honest when I'm annoyed. Especially I'm a Libra. It's Libra season. Birthday is next month. Bought me a nice little phone. Got me a nice little. I'm with Verizon, by the way. I got me a iPhone 14. They kind of just threw that in for free. Then I got the little bit more money for the watch. The Apple Watch, whatever. Pretty smooth, right? I want to sit next to a person who wants to bleed somebody out all day. I just want to ask him a question, like, bro, like, but like you won in the game. Okay, first of all, give me the stick, give me the joystick. Pause. I want to ask like what, like if it's 4 survivors, right? You win the game at 3K. Why? I just want to sit down and just ask the question. That's all. I'm not on nothing violent. See, again, I've brought this up before. The devs. See, this is what I mean. Like, I know it's some. Like, I feel like, and then like hits and like they did like a Q&A, and I don't know if people like heavily asked certain questions, but like people was asking about blood points and stupid stuff, right? Stupid shit like, oh well, when are we gonna get this cosmetic? We're gonna get like, bro, can we like literally just ask them like, why the hell is it still 100%? I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at my Meg right now. I'm just like on the DVD screen, like in a lobby. The game is such in a healthy state. Why is it still 100% blood point bonus for survivor? I want somebody to please answer me that. Please, just I don't care. Like, just answer me. Why is it still that? If the game is in such a healthy state, why is it still 100% blood point bonus? People don't want to play survivor. There are survivor mains who don't want to play survivor. And the fact that people try to tell you, why don't you play killer? I don't want to play killer. I want to be able to play a role where I just want to be able to have fun and not go against a skull merch. Dude, listen. I just want to sit down with somebody and just talk. Like I don't meet a lot of people who play DBD in real life. Like they might have heard it, or or these girl boyfriends, or this guy's cousin, or oh yeah, my guy plays that. I want to meet somebody who actually plays DBD for really though, like me. Like I play DBD, unfortunately. I just wanna meet somebody. I met one girl like who sort of works at my job, but not really. Like she works through the job, like a temp, or I don't know what she does, but she like sets up stuff. And she's a huntress, man. She would tell you like, yeah, the game definitely killer sided. I don't think people understand this. Like, I hear like other people like comp play like Nightlight and them say like, oh well, the game is not, it's survivor sided if you know what you're doing. Like that's a big if though. Like I want you to, he said the game is survivor sided if you know what, but that's a huge if. Do you know that there are survivors who still don't know that there are 7 gens in a map? Now you have to complete 5, but you want to make sure that it has to be done strategically. So that way you don't 3-gen yourselves, and then make it where the killers can just like ping pong around the map and like a Demogorgon. Which is the ugly thing, by the way. I hate when y'all be like, oh, he's a cute puppy. He's not. He's ugly. I'm sorry, he's ugly. Or whatever that is. It's ugly. Okay? But the point is like when you sit here and like to say if when the game literally did like the kill rate 60% at minimum. It's 60. And do y'all actually think that y'all gonna survive in DBD when y'all play? Like my question is like what are y'all expectations? Let me guess. Somebody gonna be like, well, we're like it's the game and it shouldn't be taken that seriously. Let me go ahead and address that real fast. All right. I don't walk down the street and think I'm gonna see a clown walking around trying to throw balloon gases at me. Could it be possible that somebody dress up like a clown and do that? Sure. I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, I wouldn't expect it, but I'd be having to go to work. I'd be trying to go and get some cup of coffee. Like I'm probably gonna do this morning, like a little bit later after I do the podcast. But I don't think it's something that's like, oh man, I gotta watch out for my pallets when I walk out the street and hope that nobody dropped God pallet or, I don't think about it all the time, right? So is it possible that it's just a video game? Sure. But that doesn't mean that someone can't be passionate about what they love and what they do. You feel me? And when someone creates a channel or a gaming stream around a certain game that they loved, by the way, and then the devs, the developers, literally makes it where we already have a power role. Like we know that the killer have to be in a commanding role because that is what entices people to want to play DBD. Oh, there's Michael Myers. I was born in 1978. Oh man, that was when the movie came out. I can go ahead and I've been a fan for years. I'm gonna go ahead and play as the Shape. Or there's Freddy Krueger, which he was never scary to me in real life. I was never afraid of Freddy Krueger. He looked goofy. He wore a sweater that was red and black. Like that's not scary. But hey, here's Freddy. Let's go ahead and play him. I get that. Like, but what they've done was that they made the killer role who averaged at least 50% kill run rates. It was only like the last time I checked before 611.0 patch was 49% between Trickster and Nurse, which was still close. And then they did this one thing too, where they like the kill rates was like weird because it was showing that the pig was having, technically the pig, they were showing the kid the pig, or the old version of the Sadako was stronger or it had more win rate. It was some weird stuff that was happening on Twitter. I just want people to understand, like, logically, if you were like an average killer and you were averaging 2 kills per match, 2 kills, that means you killed 2 people per match and 2 people got out, average. You were literally maybe 1 play away of winning that game. And the fact that the devs say, you know what, let's buff it and make it even worse. Let's go ahead and nerf Survivor where they get less distance after a hit. While buffing killers speed after they hit or after a missed attack. which means that and overcome is a very good perk, by the way. I would overcome. I will say the only downside about that is if you're injured, you can't use it again, obviously. And if you try to use made for this, you're going to be already exhausted. Made for this doesn't work while exhausted. But other than that, I mean, just to try to make up for the distance, since if you're running Windows would be a very good combination, because then, these days if you get hit, you get less distance, and trying to run to a pallet might take a little bit short of a time for you to get to it, because you're just going to be able to recover, especially if it's like a Demogorgon, you know what I mean, who can shred and jump and hit you immediately. But even then, there are people be like, oh, okay, so, Killer Mains. Oh, well, wow, they took off one little second off of your hit. Big deal. If it's not a problem, why do it in the first place? See, one thing I will not tolerate is people who knows. Like, listen. People are smarter than what they try to appear, right? Like, they just say stupid stuff just to say it. But it's like, I try to give you credit, though. Like, I'm your boy. I try to give you credit. Like, I know you're smarter than that. What is that saying? That they literally had to buff Killer and Nerf Survivor. Like what is that saying? What is that? And then mind you weren't even losing. What is that saying? You know what I mean? Like I try to give people like credit for stuff like that, but it's just like I just don't like when people try to like BS me. Like, do it with your mama if you want, if you can call her, but don't BS me though. You know what I mean? Like I don't like this notion and idea that you're gonna try to play like you don't understand the logic as to why the game is the way it is in chases. Chase is not even all that fun. I mean, you have to really be good at the game to have like I'm talking about against a decent killer. I ain't talking about against a killer that can't understand that you don't know where you're running. You're just running to be running. You're just holding forward. You're not looking behind you. And you're throwing the pad, and somehow the killer's still falling forward. Like, it's so weird to me how a killer would like randomly catch me based off luck, but yeah, somehow there's one survivor who just don't even look behind them. Somehow you just take it forever. I just want to sit down next to these these killers. I just want to see how like what's going on, and just ask them questions. Like, I would love to like do like interviews or like debate. I would love that. Please debate me and show me how the devs didn't intentionally make it. The devs, not verbatim, but literally said that they wanted killers to perform better. What do you think that meant? Like, during the 6.0.1, like 6.1.0, whatever that patch is, they literally said they want killers to perform better. What do you think that meant? And then you just add on the fact that they increased bloodlust. Now, yes, that sounds like a broken record, but I'm sorry. I don't know what else to talk about, dude. That's why, like, and again, I'm not lazy with the stuff. It's just like, I'm just thinking, like, why am I playing this game anymore? I do not have fun playing this game anymore, dude. But when you make a channel for years now after playing other games and streaming other games, and now you just feel like there's not much you can really do right now. Like, it's just not. Like, I'm just looking at the screen. I don't even want to play. I just want to be against a Blight. And I don't care if the P was Prestige 100. Like, what does that mean? I'm Prestige 100. Like, who cares? Right? I don't care. Oh, he's a Prestige 100. I don't care. That don't mean nothing to me. I have 6,000 hours. You're not going to do nothing that I haven't seen. Like, it's so crazy how y'all make these killers stupid. Like Ghostface, bro. Oh, well, Ghostface is already weak, so we have to make it where even though I'm literally looking at you, Ghostface, I can literally yell at you and be like, bro, like, what are you doing? I see you. I can literally see you. Oh, he looks at me. Nope, but he's still trying to duck around and get his stalk off. Right? But he's supposed to be stealthy. Change his power. Stop being stupid, man. Change his power. You cannot make somebody that stealthy and I can still see you, bro. So you're trying to break into my house and I look at you and I'm seeing you on camera and you still trying to act like I don't see you, bro. I can see you, man. I'm yelling at you. Like, it's so stupid to me when people do that. Like, they buffing Sadako. Oh, now you got to carry a tape everywhere. And you still have to know what you're doing in Chase. Like, if you have a Sadako, if you're going against a Sadako, you need to grab a tape and just keep it. Right? Because if you don't, she's just going to continue to just, go around condemning, and then just one-shot you. And I understand that, yes, there are competitive players, and yes, there are people who are. I understand all of that, and it just shows you how, like, because I was watching a game with I was watching Odd Streams, and he was going. It was Sadako versus, which was One Pump Willie versus Hen's team and stuff like that. And One Pump Willie is a very good killer, right? He went on a lot of win streaks in public matches, but obviously, there's a difference in public matches, and then there's custom matches where there's people with, like, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. And they know how to play, and it's just different levels. You know what I mean? It's no disrespect to them. It's just we don't play like in a game. Like, for example, like these killers that do what they do, right? They camp, they do all of these things. DBD is just. It was only one time I think that they matched you with like survivors that knew what they were doing. So you weren't the only survivor in Chase running around all day. You weren't the only survivors who knew how to stay on. I think survivors really confused with me when I'm saying do gens and stay on gens. I was doing a gen. No. Stay. Listen, bro. I be getting irritated like I do because I feel like people don't get it. Like, especially with the UI, I literally can see that you're not doing a gen. Go do a gen. I want y'all to understand this. Like, when I'm doing, I understand it sounds like, oh, well, you're showing people how to play. I am. Like, it's not hard in DBD. It's really not difficult to understand the objective. You're 4 survivors. There's 1 killer. He's coming after you. You're going to die if you don't do the generators. The only way to try to escape is and all 4 to try to survive is to try to power 5 gens. Strategically around the map, you work from inside and out. You don't want to do too many gens that are like, you want to really try to knock out gens that'll be so close to where if you don't do them and you do them at the end, the kid can just ping pong around that. So you want to really make sure you know what you're doing. Deja Vu is a very good perk to show you what gens are close together. You want to use your resources as much as you can. That's why they have pallets and windows. And try to escape. Now, everyone's going to escape. I will tell you this now. If I am being camped on hook and the killer's not pressuring gens, please do the gens. I will be fine. I get satisfaction when killer loses the game because they decide to not pressure gens. And then be the same killer, man, even after all the buffs and nerfs and all of this stuff, still saying the game is survive inside it. I just don't think that this game is just sustainable anymore the way it is. It's not fun, and it's really getting to a point where, like I said, listen, there's different content in DVD. There's people who make, which I love watching, by the way. My boy, Nobody Named Ghost, loves making these videos where it's, and congrats to him on his 2,000 subscribers. Shout out to him. He's doing his thing, man. I love watching those videos of salty TTVs, and I would definitely be salty, and I wouldn't care. Like, y'all gotta understand, I do not care. I could be on Spook and Jukes video. I do not care. Like, I do not. I want y'all to understand. Like, see, because one thing I don't do, and like no one can ever look this up. I've never taken it personally past the game. I never said I hope you end yourself and hope that I've never taken past that. But in DVD, F you. You get it? Like, I'm dead ass though. Like, I'm not dead ass, but I'm dead ass. But there's a difference, right? Like, you say, oh, I'm not dead ass. No, I'm dead ass though. Like, I'm dead ass. Like, I will slide. Like, have your messages turned off. If you're a survivor, you're not doing a gen, and you sandbag me, or I'm in that. I do not care. And so somebody can clip it, I don't. Because one thing about me, I'm just I own who I am. Like, that's why I try to tell people, like, I there are a lot of supporters who play. I don't want to play with people. I just don't. Like, and I'm trying to get to a point where I want to find a different game at some point, because it's just like there'd be times I'd be really wanting to uninstall this game. I just feel like, I achieved so much in this game, not just within the game's achievement, but also just in general with my channel. Like, this is how I got partner, because it was that stretch when I wasn't working. I was just every day, just video editing. I'm talking about, like, just on it. Just like coffee every day, just spaghetti every day, just eating that and just grinding the Prestige 100 and, all in solo queue, by the way. Like again, I tell people this all the time, and I feel like a lot of newer players don't understand this concept. And, I know I keep bringing it up, I'm going to do it again. Because it's my channel, I do what I want. grinding to Prestige 100, pure solo queue. If I'm not the first, I'm definitely one of the first, but I am the first. So it's like two different things, but it's the same, right? Now I want you to get confused. I want you to understand that literally, I have grinded to Prestige 100, all solo queue before there was matchmaking incentive. Do you not understand how I lost my mental health in that time? Like, I mean, I'm waved up now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the boy got your wave. I got waves in my hair now, but like back then, dude, I'm talking about like, I wasn't taking care of myself mentally though. Playing DBD every day after the nerf to Survivor, grinding to Prestige 100. I mean, thank God I already had my Nia to Prestige 3 and they just bumped it to 9 in the beginning. Pulling my hair out every day playing this game. Didn't go outside. I know it's not one of them old men that just keep repeating themselves with stories like war stories or whatever. But like literally, like it was literally that like every single day. I'm talking about just losing, getting camped, getting beat on hook, getting camped at Prestige 40 at the time. Think about that. Prestige 40. You can see a Prestige 100 now and you're like, whatever. Right? Seriously. But think about being Prestige 40, Prestige 39 at the time. Wow, this MF's a Prestige 39. This guy's a so-and-so. Imagine that. But again, I work now. I've been at my job almost 10 months. I never miss a day. I don't miss work. So it's like I don't have time to dedicate the time. But dude, I lost myself playing this game. But but it's really like, again, it's so much I have done and accomplished. Like it's so much that I've done. But but the reason I brought up the whole watching like certain content is like I don't mind watching the content, but it's just like I don't know. I guess people listen. I feel like in DBD people watch content that's about how to do something. Which again, I'm not the first person to make these videos, so I'm trying to, Oh, sorry, man. You can only try to work the algorithm so much on YouTube to try to get like the first one here and the first one there. Like again, I have disadvantages of trying to get a video out because I'm not in the PTB. I can't say what it's like right now going against the Skull Merchant personally that's being reworked in the PTB because I don't have access. They talked about trying to do cross progression as to why people will switch to PC, but it's just really hard to do that now. Right, because it's like they still haven't done it yet, Which I always tell people at the end of the day, at least for Survivor, it's not that much different playing Survivor on PC and PlayStation. It's just it doesn't really matter. I'm sure you want to do certain things, but who cares? Like you can know how to do the moonwalking and still lose in chase because you are bad in chase. You know what I mean? Like that's just still what it is. But at the same time, if you are a killer, that's different because obviously if you're an Oni, you can flick easier with a mouse and keyboard than you can with a controller. Right? It's just limitations on one. But I don't do content where it's like I rely on like other people's POV and stuff like that. But again, I love it. I'm not knocking it at all. I'm not knocking it. Probably after this content, I'm probably finna watch more of Nobody Named. Like I love watching like Salty Survivor because I'm definitely like, dude. I mean, it would be funny if I was ever on one of those. It would definitely be funny. But again, I don't live stream anymore. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like there's times I'd be like, man, I do miss live streaming because just the moments I've had, right? And I'm in a better situation, better setup now, but I also just know how it would be, and I just don't think it would really help. Because think about it now, if you're dedicating yourself time-wise to be in that mentality of, okay, I got to get these videos out, okay, or I got to stream, I got to, behave because, dude, listen, I'm so sorry. I've been working all day, man. Like, I'm so tired. Thank God I'm off Monday and like today and tomorrow. It's going to rain too. I love rainy days. What I'm saying is that like, I just... like trying to like be perfect as a streamer or trying to like not make mistakes. There are people, I don't think there are bad people just because now I will say this. There are people who cross the line when they say stuff though. Like there are people who definitely cross the line. Like, I'm sorry, if you are a streamer, dude, and there are people watching you, there are people who, like you want to be, shirt my survivor and you want to be a fog whisperer or just be endorsed or whatever. You have to be careful with how you represent yourself. You know what I mean? You have to be careful. Telling somebody to end themselves. Like, it was one stream that I watched. No, I was watching somebody. I forgot. I don't know if it's Spook and Juice video. I don't know if it's but I was watching somebody. And he's cool, but like, it's so crazy. Like, we both follow each other on Twitter, by the way. It's pretty nice. There's some other streams, like, you know, some other people that follow me on Twitter. I follow them back, but it's actually pretty nice. But it was just one stream that I was this one interaction. I guess this Killer Mane was playing as somebody. I don't know if it was a Death Slinger. I don't know what the killer was, but it was a streamer who lost, and so they decided to go. Because you got to remember now, when you put TTV in your name, now it ain't just for you getting positive people in your lobby. You're also gonna get negative people in your lobby. It's just what it is, right? You can become a potential target. So anyway, the guy come into the stream and checked them out. And I forgot what happened, but one thing about Survivor Mains that I realized is that there's a lot of stuff that they do that's very stupid. For example, let me give you an example, and I'm gonna get back to my point. I know I digress at times, but we'll see. Survivor, like, okay, you get off hook, and the killer is chasing somebody else. You run behind killer so that you can try to, mind you, killer can hear footsteps. They can see scratch marks. They might hear you moaning because you've been injured. And you're trying to get that flashlight save or bang or whatever you want to do in life. It's up to you. It's your choice. But then the killer goes after you, and then you'll say that's tunneling. Instead of saying, hey, let me just hide somewhere and get healthy and get, healed. Or let me just try to knock out a gym. Let me be productive other than I'm just going to chase somebody. Yeah, it's a video game. I get it. It's a game. It's all a game. It's like I said, I don't go down the street thinking I'm about to see a Demogorgon, jumping at me or whatever, and still getting dropped off and chased. Because even in real life, you're not gonna catch me. Like even in real life, I get little. You know what I mean? But like, I don't like when people do this thing where like survivors do a lot of that stuff. They do a whole lot of that whole point where, this isn't fun. You're tunneling, stuff like that. So what ended up happening was, I forgot what happened, but anyway, this killer was playing somebody, and the survivor lost for whatever reason, and the killer lost their mother or lost their grandmother. It was I think it was a mom, and it was it was very sad. Like, it was very sad, and it just so anyway, the guy's coming to the stream, harassing the killer streamer, and then it was like I'm sorry if I'm like tripping over my words. I'm a little tired, but it was like in text, R.I.P. Mama Bear, right? R.I.P. Mama Bear, and literally, this dude comes in and says, well, maybe if you didn't tunnel, maybe Mama Bear would still be alive. What the F are you, dog? Like, what? And you just heard in that guy's voice, the killer's voice, after he read that. And that's all. Now, again, I talk my shit, excuse my language, but I don't take it that far. Like, what are you, like, what? And you wouldn't say it to his face. This is what I don't. This is so weird about the internet. I'm not no tough dude. I'm not gonna act like, well, if I see a killer man in real life, I'm about to go ahead and try to, what I'm saying. if anything, I hope they don't try to be on that with me. Like, you gotta be careful, man. Like, you gotta be careful, man. Like, you don't know somebody meeting you. Like, there are a lot of celebrities who've been like, hit in the head with something on stage or whatever, because somebody literally came and bought tickets just to assault them because they was on some bummetry stuff. But I'm not on that. But it just shows you, just like, yo, this is a video, bro. Don't do that, because in real life you get smacked. Like, it. But it's easier because 9 times out of 10 you feel like people ain't gonna find you. It was this one time, this one dude did this, like. This is not even DBD related, man. It was this one time, this dude, like, you gotta be careful because you don't know who's on that energy. Like, you don't know who's on the energy. I ain't talking about the drink. That's a bar. Okay, let me stop, man. Let me stop. Y'all ain't ready. Well, no, dog. Like this dude comment like this dude had a YouTube video back in the day, and he commented like your music's trash. He had a music video, your music's trash, and this dude literally somehow found him. And the guy that had the music video was like super buff. And he was waiting outside this dude's house. And he was telling him to come outside. And dude was not trying to. He was like, and he bought a bat or something. And he started messing up this dude's car. But he was not coming outside. I guess his girl came outside to try to like tell him to leave. And he was not coming outside. I mean, I wouldn't. No, if you seen that dude, it's like, nah, man, I'm alright. My boy had lethal pursuer for real though. Like my boy was a mixture of Nemesis, because Nemesis is like way too big and tall. And that's the thing too about Nemesis, like he don't need zombies no more. Tell him to leave and go clock out. Like he's way too big and tall to need help with zombies. Like he's too like I think he can fold almost everybody in the game alone. But the point I'm making is like I will never take it to a point because I have criticism about how a killer plays or how a survivor plays, that means that I can't speak my mind. It's still a video game, but I can still speak my mind. It's that simple. People don't understand that. Like, yeah, I get it. It's a game, and, you know, why not take it so seriously, or why not do that stuff? Well, I wish the devs didn't take it seriously and make the game boring for Survivor. I wish the devs didn't take it so seriously. Like, I don't know if the devs got 4 outed or 3 outed, you know, as they play killer, and they just say, you know what, F this, we finna go ahead, and like I don't know if that was the case, maybe. But it's like, you know, making a game where it's like very boring. Very boring. So that's like, you know, again, I look at everything, like it's something about too, like when you miss playing the game. Like I know that I'm not some of the time I'm gonna lose the game. I just be wanting fun chases. And they've taken that away. Like chases aren't supposed to last that long. So the reason why they have Bloodlust. Like the purpose of Bloodlust is literally to end chases more quickly. That's what they like. That's the purpose of Bloodlust. That's what they said. Like it's to end chases more quickly. So you have to understand. Like I'm not supposed to run killer for 5 gens, but if a killer literally just said if a killer main who was like. And the thing that gets me, there are killer men who have videos and they have streams, and you could just watch them. They'll tell you like, this is how I average 3K or 4K. I don't chase somebody forever. If they're a good survivor, I can catch them later. Here's a pro tip, killer. If you go against a survivor who can run you for more than 30 seconds or so or a minute, you don't have to chase them all game, dude, and risk giving up other gens because your ego. I mean, that survivor's not going to go anywhere unless that's the last survivor and they happen to get hatched. Or you chase that one survivor all game, all gens get completed, and then they somehow get a rescue on you, and then they all block for him, and then he gets out. I mean, it was one time I ran a trickster for 5 generators, and I was able to escape. That's I don't think that would ever happen again. And I can't tell if that was before or after 6.1.0 patch. I can't even remember, but yeah, like chases aren't meant to last that long. And that's what I mean when I say like you have to be really good and understand. I ain't talking about I got windows of opportunity, I'm gonna chuck all pallets that make sense, that helps out everything. I'm talking about like stuff like that. It's just different. It's a different time. You know, they made it where the game is supposed to be over with and killer can just, and I'm still tripping. Like they should have still brought that thing in here where if the game, if there's like the last survivor in the game just or if everybody's on the ground. And I understand that was like a PTB thing, but it's the fact that like literally people still get bled out, and then I have to get a 5-hour ban, a 6-hour ban. Once I got 6 hours. I just turned it off, especially if I got to go to work. I'm not going to be waiting all day in the match, and I'm about to be late and stuff like that because I'm bleeding out. I don't know, man. At this point, I'm pretty much just rambling. It's just, I don't know, man. I really don't know. I'm not having fun anymore. Even because even talking about this is cool. I don't mind. Like I'm talking about these things, and I like it. I just think that it's very, and again, this podcast. The reason I made it audio is because I want this to be something that people feel like they can just like listen to in the background while they cleaning, while they sleeping, even while they. If this helps you go to sleep, if this helps you relax, that's cool. You know what I mean? If it helps you just have a different perspective, that's fine too. People don't have to agree with me with everything I say. Although I speak facts, so you can't really argue with like concrete. Like there's no, oh, it's my truth. No, there's just the truth. Like that's simply what that is. You cannot have a game where you have the power role or you just give the other role just an easier way to win. It's not sustainable. People eventually will stop playing. You keep bringing out these anti-loop killers. People don't want to play against them. It's already boring, and it's so crazy because I'll go against a Skull Merchant, I'll go against these people all day, I'll go against, obviously Wesker's not anti-loop, but sorry, the only thing that's irritating with him is like, his hitbox, like clearly it's like, yo, you did not make that. Like before you had to be really good at Wesker, now it's like, I'm not saying you can't be good at Wesker, but just too many times I'm getting caught with just like these stupid mechanics. Right, but I'll go against the Knight and his guards. I go against Skull Merchant a lot, and then there's every now and then I just go against a Blight. Blight is literally one of my favorite, like one of the killers I hate the most. Probably like the most hated killer. I like it's so crazy. Like obviously going against Skull Merchant is boring and all of that stuff, but it's something about getting hit that was just so unearned, and it's the reason why they play. I remember I was watching Hexy stream one day, and he was like. Somebody was like, well, what if you just like playing Blight? And he said, if they nerf Blight, if they nerf the Blight like the way they normally would Blight, if they nerfed him, y'all would not see much of him anymore. Like, if he couldn't get them rushes and he bounced off and all this stuff and he still connects somehow out of nowhere, y'all would not play him. Like Spirit got nerfed. Spirit is still pretty strong to me, by the way, but, she was obviously different before. She was obviously different. But it's the reason why you see less of her. People want what's strong. And it's so weird to me how even players are just have this mentality where they just want to just dominate and dominate and dominate and dominate at the expenses of this game. But nothing's changing. This game is going to be the way it's going to be for a very long time. So I don't know what to do. I don't know how to feel. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. All I know is that this game is just getting very old. It's getting very, hold on, didn't mean to do that. This game is getting like very, very, very old. It's not boring. One thing about DBD that I will tell you, the game is not boring. It's definitely not boring. It's not about it being boring as much as it is about just like understanding that, it needs to be a balance. It can't just be all just straight up you die every time you jump into a match. Every time you jump into a match, it's just nothing new. It's just the same old, same old. It's the reason why you're going to continue. Like, you can turn the game on right now. You will see 100% Blood Point Bonus for Survivor. Occasionally, you'll see it. Maybe there's a new killer that'll come out. And then, okay, or there's a nerf or there's something. And then you might see people trying to try a new killer. But, like, what do y'all really expect? Like, what do y'all really expect? Like, it's just not fun. Flashlight saves aren't as strong as they used to be. And it's so frustrating. Like when I'm like, like when I see a survivor like running at the back of their head trying to save me, trying to save me while flashing the back of the head of the killer. Like it's so irritating to me. Like literally, you're throwing the game every single time. So I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. I really don't know. I'm a little nervous with this channel because I don't even have. It's not that I'm losing motivation, but it's just like I'm losing hope. I try to come up with shorts every night. I don't even have I came up with a short just to like, oh, this is how you loop the xenomorph, which it just depends sometimes, right? But like literally, I haven't even had like a fun clip in a very long time. Like I haven't had a fun clip that was like, oh, well, I think these survivors, because shorts will really help you get a lot of, exposure. I remember when I first started doing shorts, when shorts was the real thing, is when I started to see like thousands of views. I've never seen thousands of views that fast from like one clip. Like that's when this when short was in its beta form, so it wasn't even fully developed. But it definitely did something for my channel as far as growth, exposure. Then I was able to eventually get partnered, which that don't equate to watch time. Obviously, it wouldn't account for much anyway. It's a minute. I don't even get like fun clips anymore. And because I don't live now, if I was live streaming, I was laughing and having a good time. Sure, I think that would help a lot too. But again, as I said before, I don't have the kind of fun I used to have, and I really don't know what else to do. I don't even know what else to even talk about. This game is just what it is. It's just, and I feel sorry for people who are Fog Whisperer, who wants to say something, but then they're afraid of, getting their shirts taken away and then getting kicked out of the program because you said something against us and you're supposed to represent us, and all we're gonna do now is we're gonna give you Auric Seals to rock, the new cosmetics that we're gonna bring out because they love doing that. They love coming out with something to just distract you. Oh, the community's in uproar. Oh, the community's upset. The community's mad. Let's bring out a fancy cosmetic, or how about this? Let's make another blood point 400,000 blood point bonus with Amazon Prime, which is the stupidest thing ever, dude. All you gotta do is just play and die as Survivor, and you will get that, if not more. Just play that all day. Yeah, if you have cakes, use that too. So for me, I just look at a lot of stuff and just say like, you can't make a game where it's just unfun all the time. It's not gonna change. I don't have faith in this game anymore. And if I had a new game, I might start playing NBA 2K. The only thing about that is like when I used to make content, that's one of them games where, and it sucks, but I'm not saying that you can't make a game that's like fun and and if it's not good, but I feel like with commentary, like here's the thing, like a lot of times people, they think that they can't grow in the game because, like I was talking to my Lyft driver yesterday, he was like, but you can't make a game like Overwatch because they really care about skill. I do believe, and I'll push back on that a little bit, I do believe that you can, but it has to be with YouTube. And I don't mean streaming on YouTube, I mean like it has to be, which I believe, first off, YouTube is very good to stream on. I mean, in the sense that it may not have like the better chat features and layout, but as far as payment wise, I mean, it's still 70-30 split versus Twitch 50-50 split, and then now they're trying to minimize third-party sponsors, which means it's kind of hurts your relationship with your sponsor and stuff like that. But what I mean by making content is, if you can get into making videos and clips that's funny in your experience, people will watch that, even if it is a game that's like mostly just for you to show off your skills. Because I understand there are some games where some people only will watch it unless it's like skill. Like not you making meme videos and stuff like that. I do believe that, but I do believe at the same time, it's just the way you do it. I was able to grow in this community, but in Angle, I had some funny stuff. But obviously, yeah, like the biggest thing that helped me grow in this community was how to do something, how to do this, how to do that. And then I started to make videos that were more like podcast level-ish, where I still had video. But then I just said, what, audio is pretty good. Because, it's just me just talking on my podcast. I'm just just voicing how I feel. But I also feel like at the same time, like you also want to know how to grow your stuff other places and stuff like that. You don't want to be too stagnant. But I do believe that if you want to have fun, DBD is probably not the game. Because I just feel like as killer, if you are good, you're not having fun destroying survivors all day and not giving a challenge. Or rarely given a challenge. And I just feel like as a survivor, I mean, you're relying on some people to be there and they're not. So that's just how it is. But I'm going to end this right now. I'm tired, man. I'm trying to get this out later. Please let me know what you guys think in the comment section about this, my takes. I'll probably talk about the rule book a little bit, like maybe next time, Killer and Survivor rule books. Trying to just figure out what else I want to talk about, man. I'm sorry. It's just this game, dude. I don't know. But if you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. Also follow me on Twitter That would help a lot too. Just to keep up with like, other stuff if I'm not always posting on YouTube. Yeah, that's it. I appreciate those who appreciate me for making these videos and these episodes. This is just gonna be the audio. I'm gonna try to upload it today. But hey, have a blessed day out here. Stay safe as usual, and if nothing else, and peace.